Hi guys, my name is Vivek, and in this video tutorial I'll explain to you guys a very common scenario that actually happens pretty often. So I have over 7 years of experience in data warehousing and data analysis, and it happens pretty often that some of my teammates and my juniors, they will complete their work, they will generate the process, they will create the tables, but the testers, they'll say that they cannot start the testing because they don't have sufficient or any data in the tables to actually proceed with their testing. Now we have a lot of test data generators using which we can generate our data, but sometimes those tools are not available to you, or they take time, or because of some other constraints you cannot leverage them. But that doesn't mean that your testing should stop and your developers and your testers should sit idle. Unfortunately, that's not how the system works. So what I'm going to show you is how we can create test data within a matter of minutes, and it's going to be very easy. You don't need any extra tool for that. We are going to use Oracle as a reference, as we have done in our previous video. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and generate our test data. So before we generate our test data, we need to understand three things that we are going to leverage here in order to generate our test data. The first thing is the dual table. Now, a dual table is a dummy table that's offered by Oracle. It's a single column, single value table. So if you query, like I have just done here, is I have queried select all from dual. So it has generated a dummy record, or a record with the value x. It has generated a dummy column and the value of that column is x. How we usually use this table is we can actually go ahead and do something like sysdate what's the date. We can apply certain functions on it, like I can apply toChar on that sysdate and that kind of stuff. So you actually play around with certain functions if you want to retrieve a dummy value in your project, that kind of stuff. Like I have a table which has in which the data is stored on a daily basis. So I want to retrieve only those rows that were entered on that particular day. So how I can do that is I can specify in the where condition where selected date is equals to select toChar from dual. So it's going to allow you to do that, and it's a dynamic thing. Every day the sysdate will change and automatically you will get the correct data, that kind of stuff. So this is these are some of the reasons why you use dual table. The next thing, which is the second thing, which is very important, is a package that is being offered by Oracle. It's called DBMS random package. Now it is a very cool package, and using this you can generate random values. So I'll just show you here how we can use it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to generate a random value between 10 and 100, and I have to use the dual table. So if I run just this, it's gonna fail. It's gonna say it expects a keyword and it didn't find that. Let's see if I specify the dual table, will it work? It worked. So it gave me a random number, and every time I run it, it's going to give me a different random number. Earlier it was 64, now it's 62. Let's run it again. Now it's 87. So it's giving me a random number between 10 and 100. So the first thing that we discussed is the dual table. The second thing we discussed is DBMS underscore random package. The third thing we discussed is, or in fact we have not discussed that as of now, but before we go there, right now we generated decimal. Let's see if this can generate strings as well. So I'm going to generate a string of length 6 here. Let's see if it is capable to do that. So it did generate a string, and every time I run it, it's going to generate me a different string, which is pretty cool, right? So this is the second thing, and we generated decimal, we generated a string. How we can generate an integer? I'll just copy this and I'll add a floor function. So what it will do is whatever the value it was supposed to fetch, like it would have fetched 49 point something, it just removed the decimal part and it got me the floor value. So I can actually generate numbers using this. I can generate integers using this. I can generate strings using this. So it actually gives me a lot of flexibility to generate things. Now the third thing which is actually used in hierarchical queries, and we will discuss that in a different video, but we will use that to our leverage here, and that is connect by clause and the label keyword. It's actually used in generating hierarchical queries. So let's say my name is Vivek. I report to a guy whose name is ABC. ABC reports to PQR. PQR reports to XYZ. So this is how it works. Vivek, he reports to ABC. ABC reports to PQR. And PQR reports to XYZ. So it will give you this hierarchy. Connect by is actually very a great way to generate hierarchical queries in Oracle, but we won't go there right now. We will use this in a different context, and I'll show you how. So we can generate as many rows as we want using this clause to our leverage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this clause, select dbms random comma value, and I'll take the floor values. From dual. So this is going to give me an integer. Every time it will be a different integer. If I add here the connect by label clause and I specify the value less than equals to 10, it's going to give me 10 rows. If I specify 100, it's going to give me 100 rows. If I specify 1000, it's going to give me 1000 rows. How cool is that? So you can generate 1000 rows within seconds just by this simple thing. Now let's say my developer, he developed an employee table. The first column of the table is employee ID. So what I'll do is I'll select the row number using a row num function from dual. So the first column is employee ID, the second column is name, the third column is email, the fourth column is salary, the fifth column is SSN, and the sixth column is, say, what should be the sixth column? Let's say is manager ID, and that should be fine. So these are the 6 columns that we have. Let's say how I can generate a table with these 6 columns within like 10 seconds. Obviously I'll have to write the syntax. So I'm going to select the row number as ID. Now I'm going to use this dbms string function to my advantage. It's going to generate me a name of 6 digit as name. Then I'm going to, what's my third column is email. So again, I'll take this and I'll concatenate this value with @abc.com. I'll just concatenate this value and I'll keep this as email. Then I have salary. So I'll use again this function and I'll just multiply it with 1000. Let's see it clearly. So the ID is being generated by the Oracle function row number. The name is being generated by the dbms random.string package. Again, email is a random value, a random string @abc.com. Then the next column that I have is salary. So I'm going to use my floor function here with the dbms random package. And since it's not good to have so less salary, so I'm just going to multiply this with 1000. The next is SSN. I know that SSN is a 9-digit number. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add 9 digits. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the max it can have is 9 nines. Pretty cool, right? And the last is manager ID. So I'll again give a random manager ID and I'll multiply it with 10 because it usually looks good. And I'm going to select this from dual. I'll just see if there are any syntax error that I may need to fix. I'll just quickly give them the alias as salary, as SSN, as manager ID from dual. Let's see if it runs. Wow, it ran in first shot. So I have the ID as 1. I got a random bad name, but that's fine. Who cares about that? Then I got the email. There is some spacing in that email. Let's just quickly fix it. So I'm going to take care of this. I don't want any spacing. Then the salary looks good, 20,000. The SSN looks alright, and the manager ID, it looks alright as well. Now I just don't want a single row. I want 20,000 rows. So what I'm going to do here is connect by level less than equals to 20,000. Let's see if it'll generate 20,000 rows for me. Voila! It actually generated 20,000 rows for me, and it took me like less than 2 minutes to write this code. Now I have to insert this in my employee table. I actually don't have one, so I'll just create table employee underscore test data as it actually generated me an employee test data table with 20,000 records. Now this, I actually oversimplified this to an extent, but this is a great way to generate data. And you see your salary columns looks okay, your ID columns looks okay, your name doesn't look perfect, but it looks alright. The email, there is no syntactically issue, it looks alright. I mean it ends with @abc.com and then it has a bunch of characters in advance. Your SSN is alright. You can actually make a case that the manager ID, only a person who is an employee can be a manager. That is also satisfied here as well. So we have managers from 1 to we have managers going, the max manager ID is like 990 maybe. So we have those as employees as well. So that condition is also met. Now there is a possibility that we may have some foreign constraints that we need to specify, like, or some check constraints. So we may have an additional column called gender. Let's just quickly add a column called gender to this. So this gender column can only have 2 values. Alright, it can be either male or female. Now I cannot use dbms random.string to my advantage in that case. So what I should do here is I'll just take one of the values and I'll hard code it. Let's create another table, data1. The table has been created. Let's see if we have the column. Now we have all the genders and which is kind of unfair. So you can just go ahead and update this table with this easy clause. Update this table, set gender is equals to female, and you can use the ID to your advantage, where ID, there is a mod function. So you're making half the people as female now. So all the even columns will be female now. So you just updated 10,000 rows were updated, and now you have an equal distribution of male and female. So it's that easy, guys. And say we have a foreign key constraint. This table, say I have to add another column which is location. I have to add another column which is location. So I hard coded the value and I gave it a random value. But the challenge is, if I create a table 2, the challenge is that this particular location ID or location code column, this table has a foreign key relationship from other table locations. So I have a table locations. I cannot just give a random code here. It's gonna fail. It's gonna say that the key or the value that you are trying to exist, it doesn't exist in the parent table. In that case, what we should do is we should disable the constraint. Disable the constraint first. Load random data in that column. And then just fix the data. What I'll do is I'll provide you guys a for loop in the description section and a with query, using which you can actually tackle with that as well. But in case if you want to handle or you want to generate simple test data, it's that easy, guys. I added another column location code here. Let's add 50,000 rows. So I generated 50,000 rows in less than 2 minutes. And my testers, they don't have to sit and waste their time now. They can just go ahead and create it. This is actually the very basic stuff, how to populate your table with random values. I actually wrote a test package, a data generation package, and it takes care of all the constraints, the check constraints, the foreign key constraints. So it will identify the parent tables first. It will load data to them first, and then based on the basis of that, it will load the data to the child table, so that we don't have any keys issues. And in case in the end there is a reconciliation check, which actually ensures that we don't have any constraint issues, and if there are any rows that are orphans or are creating issues, it simply goes ahead and delete them. So that package is so cool. You just specify an entire schema of 100 tables to that package. You go for your lunch, you come back, the entire 100 tables in your schema will be loaded. It's that cool. In case if you are seriously interested, you can let me know. I'll think about passing the package to you guys as well. But for now, I hope that in your next project, if you have to populate certain tables, you're going to utilize these things. Let's do a quick recap. What we used the dual table, we used the DBMS random package, and we used connect by level clause. I know I didn't explain connect by and label in detail. I'm going to do that in a separate video for hierarchical queries. And believe me guys, I've come across a lot of people who don't understand the concept of hierarchies well, which is very, very, very important in data warehousing and data analysis. Because if I have 100 people under me who are working under me, I want to actually see who is making how much money for me. There are 10 people who are my direct reportees, what kind of money they are contributing towards my business. If I have to appraise 2 people, who should be those 2 people, and that kind of stuff, it can actually be deduced easily by hierarchical queries. So it's very important you understand them. It will be a little overwhelming if I explain them in this video, because that's not the purpose of it. But I assure you guys that in one of my next videos, I'm going to make a clear case of why we use hierarchical queries, how we can use connect by clause to actually create them. If you like this video guys, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you have any doubts, go ahead and write that in the comment section and I'll try to answer that. But do subscribe to my channel. I'll constantly upload such cool videos that will give you a leverage of all other co-workers so that you get street smart. Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot for watching this video guys. Have a good day.